Greetings, friends. Gemini Brett here with Backyard Astronomy. Tuesday, Mars's Day, and I'm recording from my home in Richmond, California, so how appropriate to tune into this Cancer Moon Mars conjunction in the constellation of the Twins. It is April 25th, 2023. It's about 8:55 p.m. and I'm at home in Richmond, California. An out-of-bounds Mars and an even more out-of-bounds moon. The ecliptic comes through here. So both of these beings are north of the path of the sun currently, north of the Tropic of Cancer. I want to show you how to find the Pleiades, who are getting quite dim at this time of the year, starting to fall underneath the beams of the sun. But we can work with these bright stars of the sacred hoop. Many of them said to be Behenian stars, magical stars of Hermes, like Capella is, this bright star of the charioteer Auriga. Castor and Pollux, part of the sacred hoop, not in the Bohemian star list, but Procyon, the herald of the dog, or the small dog, is, as is the brightest star in our sky, Sirius. You can see Orion here, and the leading foot, Rigel, or Rigel, or Rigel, is one of these sacred hoop stars. And modern astronomers use Aldebaran here, the eye of the bull, and the Hyades. You're just maybe starting to see the Hyades here. Let's get a little more light in this thing. And maybe you can see that V shape, which is the bull's face, coming up to these horns, El Neth, which is shared by the charioteer. There's Capella, and El Heka, the star closest to galactic anticenter. There's a wanderer here as well, Venus. It's in our day and age. Aldebaran, ecliptic's kind of passing here, is at 10 degrees tropical Gemini. So I can see Venus is kind of well beyond that point now. She's about 17 tropical Gemini in this moment. And perhaps you can see now the Pleiades on the screen. So they're just above this plane that's blinking through. And they're getting rather dim. Let me come down. The sun has recently set about, an hour ago. And so you can see the beams of the sun that follow the sun and also precede the sun in the east on the rise. So as the sun's moving this way through the fixed stars, through the zodiac, 1 degree per day, those beams are going to get closer and closer to the Pleiades here, and will soon consume the seven sisters. They will have their heliacal set, and they will be unavailable to the earthly eye for about 40 days and 40 nights before they rise before the sun, reborn as morning stars with their heliacal rise in the east. So catch them while you can, but you might want to talk to Orion about that. He knows that you can never quite catch the Pleiades. And, well, for him, maybe that's because there's a bull in between. So let me show you the sacred hoop again. I'm going to turn the light down so the camera will move with me a little bit more easily. So, but let's be in the Pleiades here. Okay. With Aldebaran quite close by, 1st degree of tropical Gemini, 10 degrees tropical Gemini. But for the Lakota, they don't use the royal star, the Behenian star Aldebaran, but rather the Pleiades. And then we'll come up to Capella, Castor and Pollux, Procyon, Sirius, Rigel, and then back to the Pleiades. So a way to find the Pleiades right now is get outside, connect with Venus, have Venus show you, this line between Capella and Aldebaran maybe, and the Pleiades are just going to be a little bit down. And to the right if you're in the northern hemisphere like I am. Another way to find the Pleiades is to work with Perseus, who is here. And This is Perseus's foot. He basically stands on the Pleiades. In his hand is the Behenian magical star, the eye of the Gorgon, Algol. Right? So let's look here and engage with the Behenian stars. Algol, about 26.5 degrees tropical Taurus by longitude. Pleiades at the Taurus Gemini cusp, right in the center of the frame. Aldebaran, 10 degrees tropical Gemini. Capella, about 22 degrees tropical Gemini. Over to Sirius, who projects way up here to 14 degrees tropical Cancer. The moon is meeting Mars at about 15-16 degrees Cancer right now. So these are the same longitudes as Sirius, who's way down here 40 degrees south of the ecliptic, or the path of the sun, and for the most part the planets. And then Procyon, about 26.5 degrees tropical Cancer. And we can continue a Bohemian star tour and head up to speak with the lion here. See the crook, the lion's head? This is the lion's heart, Regulus. The lion, you can see this kind of trapezoid. Okay, it's like the Sphinx, right? Here's the lion's head. The lion's heart, Regulus, in our day and age since 2012, first degree of tropical Virgo. Where there are lions, there are bears. And this last tail star of the seven sages, the Ursa Major, the big bear right on top of the house, that's Al-Qaid, one of the Behenian stars as well, projecting to the last face of tropical Virgo at this time. Others have not yet risen. As the priestess of the heavens rises, we'll find Spica, and actually, you know what, Spica's just right shining in the trees right now. So not the best time to see Spica, but I see that the crow, Corvus, is here on the right of the tree, and the star Algorab is one of the Behenian set, and pardon the shaky camera here, but I'm gonna walk this way a bit and get a different view. And we will follow the arc of the Dipper to Arcturus. Said we can speed on to Spica, who's just kind of in the trees right now. Arcturus at 24 degrees tropical Libra, as is Spica. And one more Behenian star in the set in this moment. Here is Alphecca, or Gemma, this bright jewel of the northern crown, Corona Borealis, about 14 degrees tropical Scorpio in our day and age. Magical stars. See you in space. Well, actually, let's see how the Pleiades look now that it's darkened a little bit more. The sun's sinking a little further down, but you know, I live very close to some cities, and there's a good amount of light pollution over on the side of the things. But let me just put the Pleiades right in the center of the screen. They're just right here. An amazing thing tonight is I've just been out here like straining my eyes waiting to see them. And it was very easy, of course, to see Venus, and of course Moon, and Mars, and then Capella, and Sirius shined, and Betelgeuse, and Procyon, and Mars, and the twins, and the rest of Orion. You know, everything was kind of coming out, Aldebaran, but it took much longer for a star of the Pleiades to show. And the first was Alcyone, which is the brightest, kind of the central star of the Pleiades. And then an amazing thing was, I'm going to try to turn this light up even more, that I just saw them kind of come out one at a time I think that's too bright, but I'll just point again, there's the Pleiades. So anyway, you know, this is the right time of the year to get outside and say good night to the Pleiades, because again, soon the sun will take them under the beams and they will not be visible as evening stars for a long time. I will miss them. Depending where on Earth you live, they may have already set. The northern hemisphere is an easier place to see the Pleiades just because of the way that Taurus sets here versus how it sets in the southern hemisphere. It sets much slower than it does in the southern hemisphere, and also the Pleiades have northern latitude. They're north of the ecliptic plane. It's favorable for northern hemisphere visibility as well. So I'm counting my lucky stars.